Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome back to the next episode here within the Charitropakhyan Series. In this Charitr, we're going to be exploring the theme that Guru Sahib is using here of Holi. Jo pei Chartir Singh mantri so kahi, ham te sagal kukreya rahi. So this Charitr starts off with Raja Charitra Singh narrating something, where Raja Charitra Singh actually speaking here. He's speaking to the mantris. He's saying to the mantris that because of all the stories you have told me thus far, because all the stories you have told me thus far, I have no desire for kokreya. This word right here, kokreya, means kokaram, right? To do something that's the opposite of taram, to do a biparit action, to do something that is not within the philosophy of spirituality. I have no more desires to do anything in that world of ataram. I only want to do what is right. I only want to engage my mind now to do what is dharmi, what is just, what is righteousness, what is under the wing of compassion, contentment, and all these things. He's saying that now, and I feel like when the Charitra started, besides the very first Charitra being about Bhagavati, the Shakti of Paramatma, the energy of Paramatma, the metaphysical and physical, and then the second Charitra being the overlaying story of Raja Charitra Singh, his son. Besides those two things, we did not have much context on what Charitropakhyan is, right? When the first Charitra hits, when the first tale hits, right? The third Charitra, the first tale, the mantris are advising, there's not much to go off of, and there's not much of to understand what's going on in Raja Charitra Singh's mind. But as the Charitras progress, you see that Raja Charitra Singh explains what's in his mind, some here and there, but hearing very clearly says now to the mantris that I have no more desires to do kukarams, right? And hopefully, up until to this point, by listening to these Charitras over and over again, it can have such an effect on our, minds and just kirpa, that we also start to refrain from such actions, and that would take away our dharam. Tum jo ham so bachan uchare, janak suda sravan par dare. Those bachans you have shared with me, those stories you have shared with me, it's like if you put amrit, nectar, into my ears. That's what it feels like. This is what Raja Charitra Singh has said, right? Dohra manakram bachakar mantar bar, eha bachan mur tohe. I surrender my mind, my mind in these three ways: my thoughts, man, my actions, and my bachan, my words, to you, kar mantar bar, eha bachan mur tohe, because the way you have explained it to me, you are my guru here. The Raja Charitra Singh talking to advisors, the way you have explained everything to me, I surrender. Jo kach Charitr istaran kare, so kach koho sam mohe. Please tell me more. Tell me more what a istaran, what woman can do. Tell me more about their Charitras that they can play on me. Ek rav kano to tahe ko kriya nar. Now the mantris are going to say the next Charitra here, the 30th Charitra, the next tale, and they say that there was a king who was kano. Kano means that he was blind in one eye. Tohe ko kriya nar, and he had tahe ko kriya nar, and he had a wife who was kokiriya. You remember this word kokiriya started off here. The Raja said that I will not do any more kokiriya, right? But this woman, she was engaged in kokiriya, right? She was engaged in doing things that are opposite of what her dharam would allow, right? Rami jar so rai ki aak ambire hedar, and this is the summary of the story we're about to hear. What did she do? She made love with a friend. Rami jar so rai ki, and it could be concluded this is the friend of a king. So she made love with the friend of a king, with her husband, basically, aak ambire hedar, by throwing color into the eye of the king. So the king is remember, he was already one-eyed, right? He can't see from both eyes. He can only see from one eye, and so she threw color of Holi. So ambir is a color, a red color. She threw that color into the eyes, the eye of her husband, right? Why? To embrace her the person she liked, which was the friend of the king. Yeah. So this is a summary of the story we're about to hear. Okay, now we're going to the story. Chope jab hi maas phag ko ayo, when it was the month of Phaggan. Phaggan, according to, so desi mihine, there's what we call desi months, right? Like Phaggan, Chet, Vasak, these are all months according to the desi calendar, right? So it doesn't really match the Gregorian calendar. It's about like halfway through. So for example, halfway through February would be the start of Phaggan. Yeah. So Narin Ananda Badayo, and people were very happy that the Phaggan month is coming. Why? Because now spring is around the corner. The weather is getting better. And also a festival which is done Holi, is also here. It's played in the month of Phaggan, and that's where the word, so we call it Holi, but there's also a word called Phag. Phag means the same thing as Holi, and it comes from the month Phaggan. Yeah. Kar kar hot kolahal pahari gavat geeta bajavat tari. So in every single house there's so much happiness. People are singing, singing songs. They're happy. It's the festival of Holi is here. Yeah. Chachirmati naam trihetanko. So what was the name of that woman? Her name is Chachirmati. Yeah. So she's the wife of this king. So she's a queen. Atta sundara bidabapa kiyo vako. And the creator has made her very beautiful. Yeah. She has a very beautiful presence. Mani San Nripatako Nama, and her husband's name is Mani San. Yeah. So Chachirmati is the name of the woman, and her husband's name is Mani San. Chachirmati Javanaki Bamma, and she's the wife of Mani San. Roopavant Nat Tavan Nihareo Madan Tabatan Besik Parhareo. So during the festival Holi, the king, he probably, because he's the king of the city, he arranged a big festival, so that people can celebrate Holi. And in this festival, he calls some actors, not to means actors. He calls upon some actors, and within those actors, one of the Sardar actors, like Sardar meaning the leader, right? The leader of all the crew, right? He had a very beautiful form. Yeah, he was very handsome. Manakaram bach karka bas pai janak das mol ki lei. And what happened was when the queen Chachirmati saw this actor, this man, this male, she fell in love with him, right? She fell head over heels, and it's almost like Janak, like Mano, like suppose it's like someone buys a slave, right? She got bought out, right? In that way, right? And in return, she's selling her taram, and that's what kokiriya is. We start off the word kokiriya as someone selling off their taram, unfortunately. Dohara kar kar chachar khel hi kar kar gayo geet कर कर होत मृदंग धुन कर कर नचत संगीत तेह ठा एक परबीन नट सब नठियन को राय मदन छपाए काढ़ी है मदन के नव रंग राय. So there's music playing in every house, there's instruments being played, there's sangeet, and there's tal, and there's rag, there's all this going on, right? And within all that commotion, the leader of all those the festival people that are here, the actors, he's Madan Chapai Kardiye Madan ke Navarang Rai. He's also amongst them, the person who Chachirmati is falling for. Chopai Chachirapari Nagarama Pahari. In the whole city there's much commotion, much happiness. Gavat Geet Sabanarnari. Everyone's singing. Navalasin Hatana Lahekava Chaturan ke Chaturatana Lava Dohara. कर कर चाचर गावही कर कर बचत मृतांग हर दर राग अलापियत कर कर बचत मचांग. So Guru Sahib is just going into this rasa poetry, this flavor of poetry where they're describing just in detail, that there's so much rag, there's so much happiness, there's colors being thrown, and all that environment's being drawn out here inside Guru's bani. Kar kar abla gavahi, mil mil geet bachitar. You know, in every house, women are singing. In every house, mil mil geet bachitar. You know, this bachitar song they're singing. Bachitar meaning wondrous. Their sounds, their voice sounds so beautiful. Murli murj mridangaton, jehta hai bachitar. Everywhere, jithe kite dis dekho, you can hear the wondrous sounds of instruments being played, of mridangs, of pankhavaj, of tabale, of vajji, of shani, of narasinghe, all these different kind of instruments being played. Chope naranaran mil khel rachayo. And now the males and females, they're coming together, people are coming together, and they're playing, they're throwing colors on each other. Fool upon kafan mangayo, dohun or navalasan amara, mudar mudar to nagit uchara. They're throwing colors from both sides at each other, and at the same time they're singing songs. Dohra chal chabili khel hi nar naran ki peer, jachat rishta pasariya tate hik siriya cheer. Wherever you look, there's color, and there's red color, there's yellow color, all these different types of color are being thrown. Ambir, gulal, these different type of things were different type of colors which were extracted from trees and plants. Kar kar Chartir kheliya hai, has has gaiya hai geet. People are singing, people are laughing. Kar kar hot mridangaton, kar kar nachat sangeet. In every single house there's the mridang, the rabab playing. In every single house there's sangeet. Nirkh roop taako sagal urj reho so kumar, rani hu chatapat atak nat so kiyo pyar. So that individual which we were introduced to just a while ago, the leader of all the actors, the one who this Rani fell over, you know, she was not the only person. Many women who was, you know, who looked at him, you know, you know, just by seeing him, by seeing his handsomeness, how young he is, how beautiful he looked, a lot of people, a lot of women were falling for him, right? So the Rani, you know, being a Rani, she called for him, you know, she called for him with a lot of love, right? खेलत फाग बचित्र गात नर नारी सुख पाए अलता की आंधी चली मनुख ना निरख्यो जाए. She calls from him, and in this scene where Maharaj is painting here, you know, everyone's playing colors, everyone's throwing colors, you know, you cannot make out anyone, you know. So it's that kind of scene. There's so much color in the air. Kram kram bajat bachantar boho run chun murl machang chem chem barsyo neh ras drim drim diyo mardang. Chopei alta saath peo andiyaro drishta parat nehe haath pasaro. There's alta being thrown. Alta is a type of color or type of fragrance being thrown into the sky. You cannot even see someone's hand, you know. So this is the scene, and now in this scene, you know, she wants to come closer to this male. She's got his attention already, you know. Now she wants to make it so that it's pitch black for her husband, right? It's already hard for him to see. There's a lot of colors going on. There's a lot of, you know, commotion. There's all these things. Everyone's happy, you know. But she has something in her mind. She has this man in her mind who she wants to get closer to, right? Rani pat ambid rig para. What does she do? She takes the ambid, the color, in her hand, and she throws it into that one-eyed husband of hers. Janak nirpehe and ka dara, and basically made him blind. You know, Jano ke wo andha hi ho gaya. One eye he couldn't see from anyways, and the other eye now she's thrown red color into his eyes. Dohra ek aakh ka no hoto dutiya para ambir. From one eye he was blind, the other eye now has color. Ambir Griyo and the jim hua nirpat drigojat peo asir, and he's fallen onto the floor, this king. Yeah, Rani Navarangarai ko tabhi liya bulai. In that moment she saw that it's clean now, it's clear for her. You know, she calls for that Navarang. Navarang, the word here means youth, the youthful this man, this male that she liked, right? She calls for him now, right? She calls him closer, right? Alingan chumban kare drid rat kari machai. And you know, she gives him love, she kisses him, she embraces him. Jab lag nirpadrig poch kar dekhan lagyo banai. Until then, you know, the king who's fell on the floor, he's getting up, he's wiping away the color from his eye. Tab lagrani manrat natua diya uthai. You know, until then the game was over. You know, it took that much time for her to, you know, embrace the male, and basically make contact with him to know now the male knows that she likes him, and that was all that she needed to do. And in that time span of the king getting colored in his eyes, being thrown on falling over and getting up, taking color off, in that time, he was already gone, right? The Natua, the actor, he was already gone in that time. Yeah. So this is where the 30th Charitra ends. And there's definitely many concepts that we can extract from here. One is that it's such a happy moment, right? It's Holi, it's a festival of India that people really enjoy, people celebrate. And imagine that you are married to someone, and this person is behind your back coming up with a scheme to kind of like betray you, right? Imagine if you were to find out about that, how hurt you would be, So I really feel for this king, this character, really feel for him, because just imagining that if someone you think is yours, you spend so much time with them, you spend so much effort, and you invest so much energy into them, and behind your back they were to do this to you, that there's nothing worse in the world, there's no other hell than that, right? So Guru Sahib has illustrated that for us here, and I thank you for joining me in this episode. Just like I asked in the previous episode as well, please do share your comments, please do share your thoughts on the episode, what you learned, what you take away. I would definitely love to hear from you as well. Bol chuka dekhiye माँ जी, I'll see you in the next one. आओ बुलाइए फतेह, वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।